Hello, dog lover. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. Welcome to another live training show. Hope you're doing well and hope you're ready to talk about dogs. In this live video, we're going to talk about dogs. I'm going to answer your questions live. And also, we'll be talking about the main topic, which is exercising your puppy and or your dog. We're going to talk about a lot about dogs. If you have questions and you want me to answer them, make sure to get your questions mainly in the topic of exercise. If you have any regarding exercising your puppy or your dog, in the chat area, and preferably if you could use the super chat option, that would be great, because then you're supporting the channel as well. And today we are going to also announce that we are in this channel this month of May, starting today. I'll be going live twice a week in the month of May only. We're going to give it a try to see how it goes. I'm going to be trying to help you as much as I can using the live option and get you educated to become an educated dog lover. I see that Jessica is in the house. Natalia is in the house. River Dreamwalker is in the house, saying hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. And we'll get started in a moment regarding the exercise. Let's talk about exercise. So I have some banners. There we go. Okay. So the first thing that I want you to start focusing on is, let me see if I can share my screen. I'm going to share the screen. There we go. Okay. We're ready. So as you know, I'm always asking dog owners to focus on providing their dogs daily 5 essential needs. Whether you have a puppy or you're a dog owner, you need to focus on providing your dogs daily 5 essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection. And if you want to improve our dog's life, we have to provide proper amount of exercise for our dogs, and that's what we're going to talk about. So what is so big deal about exercise? Exercise is something that you have to provide it in a proper way, which doesn't cause health issues and also behavioral issues. We'll talk about these things a little bit more in details. But when it comes to puppies, let's start with puppies. When it comes to puppies are very fragile creatures, right? So we have to exercise them, but we have to exercise them in a proper amount. So what does that mean? That means that we have to provide proper levels of exercise and proper amount of exercise. Instead of giving one big exercise session, I would suggest to give them short exercise sessions, but more often throughout the day. For example, you could do 15 minutes of exercise sessions, maybe 3, 4, 5 times a day. And we'll talk about more about what those exercises are, how they do look like and all that. But what you want to think about is that puppies are not fully developed yet, and if you over-exercise them, you will cause a lot of physical damages to happen in their structure, the bone system that they have, their joints, and also that will lead to long-term health issues. So they're not physically fully developed yet, so you want to be very careful about how you're exercising your puppy. You want to exercise them in a light manner. You don't want them to jump around and do a lot of physical activity, because then they're causing a lot of damage to happen in their body. And also what happens also when you overexercise them, you don't give them enough breaks in between, they become super hyper, and you're going to help that puppy to develop hyperactivity behaviors, which we'll talk about what they are actually. So if you provide improper amount of exercise and you exercise your puppy improperly, you're going to help them to develop inappropriate chewing behavior. They're going to be rowdy, they're going to be jumping on people, for example. That's one of the reasons why puppies and dogs jump on people, because you over-exercise them actually, or also you're maybe under-exercising them. We'll talk about that too. You're going to cause your puppy or your dog to develop destructive scratching or digging, inappropriate predatory play. This is one of the issues that many dog owners have to deal with, because their puppy or their dog is really aggressive. In a way, it looks very aggressive when they're playing with other dogs or they're interacting with humans too, and they get very upset and angry because their dog is behaving certain way, and they don't understand why that is happening, and why is their dog so-called aggressive or so-called dominant. That's because you're either over-exercising your puppy or you're under-exercising your puppy. Trash can diving or dumpster diving or getting into garbage and or even counter surfing, mouthing, rough play, chewing, especially in puppies, is very common issue. Many puppy owners, they tell me that my puppy is just chewing me, biting me, it hurts. How do I get rid of this behavior? That's maybe because you're not giving proper amount of exercise, or you're over exercising your puppy. And the other issue is heightened reactivity, hyperactivity. As I said, hyperactivity behaviors are very common in dogs. Dogs are not able to calm down properly, right? And they are just having a hard time to calm down and relax overall. And also the other issue is attention getting behaviors. This is one of those cases, for example, if your dog is constantly following you everywhere that you go, and he wants to interact with you and wants your attention, that's because you're either over-exercising your puppy or you're under-exercising your puppy. That's why it's very important to give proper amount of exercise. And River Dreamwalker says, I believe extensive exercise for dogs makes them smarter. Not really, extensive amount. You have to be careful. That's a very fine line that we have to learn how much to exercise and what to do and what not to do. And that's the goal of today's live session, that I want to really dig in and give you some good content to work around exercising your dog, because this is a very serious and very important topic, and which will affect your dog's behavior in future. And I want you to really dig in and understand, take notes maybe today, and just focus on learning how to exercise your puppy or your dog properly. Am I doing good so far? Everything is going well. So you understand the first thing that you have to provide your dog is exercise, right? Exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. The first thing is exercise. Is exercise good for your dog? Is it healthy to give exercise to your dog? Yes, it is. And we have to really be careful how to exercise our dogs. So one of the things that I want you also to remember is, when you're exercising your dog, when it comes to puppies, you want to make sure that you're giving them short exercise sessions. Let's say play with other dogs, you play with your puppy, you take it for a walk, you do a little bit of training using play and praise minor training system. That is the amazing form of exercising a puppy. Because you're not only playing and exercising your puppy, at the same time you're training your puppy. It's very effective when you do it that way. So playing with your dog, exercise, taking them for a walk, short walks for 15 minutes, giving them an opportunity to play with other puppies and other dogs is a good exercise session. Allowing your puppy actually to explore the environment, the roads, the streets, the parks, that itself is a very good stimulation, a good healthy form of exercise for your puppy. So that's puppies, right? So once you understand this and you don't over exercise your puppy, and you get them to the point that they're exercising and sleeping, resting, and then playing again, exercising and resting, sleeping, that model, if it's repeated, you will have a better chance of raising a healthy, well-behaved puppy. We learn all this in my online course, obviously Puppy Training 101, and also Functional Dog Training. If you want to join in, I have a special going at the moment. I have extended it to the end of this weekend. If you want to join in and register, take advantage, simply go to sarodogtraining.com and you're going to get all the benefits of joining the course and learning about dogs and how to train your dog and how to get your dog to be healthy and well behaved using play and praise reward system. So let's go to the next part of this presentation, and I will get to your questions in a moment. And I have a question from a member of Cynthia is a member of the channel. That's why she gets her question answered right away. If you want your questions to be answered right away, you need to be either a member or you need to use the super chat option in the chat area. So Cynthia is asking, hi, Saro, just tuning in, and you might have answered this question. What is the right amount of exercise is good for a 3-year-old Lhasa? That's what we're going to dig in now, and we're going to figure out what is the right amount and what are the exercises that we're going to need to provide for our dogs. So let's get into it. There we go. Okay, so Cynthia, pay attention. We're going to dig in a little bit more. So it is important not to assume that a fenced yard provides the exercise your dog needs because they have a big backyard. This is very common mistake many dog owners make. And, I notice also, like, for example, the rescue organizations or rescue shelters and things like places like that, when they're adopting dogs, they're saying, do you have a fenced yard? Do you have a big fenced yard? Is it fenced completely? Is it safe? Because your dog has to be exercising in the fenced yard. Misunderstanding here is that when you have a fenced yard, that, okay, I'm good. My dog is going to be exercising and it's going to be all good. But the study has shown that when your dog has no other dog around and no human encouraging or attracting them and to be active, they will spend 80% of their time just sleeping. Sleeping is good, but 80% of the time to be sleeping is not good, right? So we don't want our dogs to be lazy. We don't want our dogs to be super active all the time either. But fenced yards doesn't solve the problem. Just because you have a fenced yard, it doesn't mean that your dog is going to be exercising. And that's going to be enough. We need to remember that dogs who have other dogs around for company spend less time resting. That's about 60% of the time they are active, and the 40% of the time are resting. Better, but we could do better than that, right? Just because you have, again, other dogs, it doesn't mean that they get to exercise properly and that's about it, right? That we call that uh, limited socialization. Your dog is just socializing with another dog and being active and playing with other dog. That's it. That's all it gets, right? That's not healthy either, right? A fenced yard, just by having a fenced yard doesn't mean that you're going to get a dog exercise. And just because you have another dog or other dogs doesn't mean that it's good they exercise. Yes, they do play together, probably they may interact together, but that's about it. That's all that they get. It's still not healthy. We need to do better than that. So the best, and really the only way to make sure that dogs get moving is providing companionship and motivation. You have to provide them companionship and motivation, motivate them to get moving. If dogs don't get regular opportunities to run, play, and exercise aerobically, even if they are not overweight, they can end up with arthritis and other debilitating conditions that affect their bones, joints, muscles, and internal organs. Let me address this one more time. Your puppy, just because you have a puppy, if you overexercise it, you're going to cause health issues such as this: bone, joint, muscle, and internal organs to be damaged and have problems, right? But when they get older, if they don't get enough exercise, they will develop these issues as well. So you want to be really careful about how and why, where, and how, when you're exercising your dog or your puppy. So your dog's behavior also will suffer as well if you don't regularly physically and mentally stimulate them. So it's very important to figure this out and stimulate them mentally and physically properly, right? So your dog should be getting an absolute minimum of 20 minutes of sustained heart thumping exercise 3 times a week. That's the minimum. Like, if you could do that, that's the minimum that you're providing for your dog. But you should do better than that. So 30 minutes or an hour is better than 20 minutes, of course. And 6 or 7 days a week is better than 3, right? So it's very important to not only just give the minimum amount of exercise or provide the minimum opportunity for your dog to exercise, but we want to give as much as possible. And walking 30 minutes a day, twice a day, is also a great option, a great number to focus on. So if that's all you can do, let's say you're busy, you have a busy life, and you could only provide a 30-minute walk for your dog, that's good. That's good, but you could do better than that. So some believe if they do lots of weekend activities with their dog, they make up for the lack of exercise on the weekdays. You understand this part? You get this part? I have many clients who are busy working throughout the week, and on the weekends that they are off, they over-exercise their dogs, thinking that if I over-exercise my dog and do all these activities with my dog during the weekend, my dog is going to be good for the rest of the week, and we're going to be okay with that, right? But that's not okay. That's not fun, actually, to do that. It's not healthy. It's not healthy, actually, to do that. You don't want to have a weekend warrior, right? But the problem with this approach is that you can actually create injury to your dog by encouraging your dog to be a weekend-only athlete, right? Imagine you only are exercising 1 day a week, 1 or 2 days a week, right? And really, like, you sign up for a boot camp, and this boot camp is only running on the weekends, right? And you go and just work your butt off all weekend, for 5-6 hours, a day, 2 days a week, and you expect to lose weight or be healthy or be normal throughout the week, right? That's not okay either. It's not okay to just think that, okay, my dog needs exercise only on the weekends, and or it's a long weekend, I don't have the time, I'm just going to provide long weekend exercises for your dog. No, you have to exercise your dog 365 days a year, Monday to Friday, Monday to Monday. Every day your dog has to get proper amount of exercise. So when a dog body isn't well conditioned, sudden burst of activity can cause injuries that lead to long-term joint damages, plus other behavioral issues as well, as I said, right? So when you are over-exercising your body just on the weekend and you're letting your dog's body to rest throughout the week, and you're just offering a here and there exercise for your dog, you're going to cause a lot of health issues and also behavioral issues to develop in your dog. So we don't want that, right? So we don't want to cause damages to our dogs. So let's watch something that I have created, and I want you to watch it and learn a little bit more about how to exercise your dog. Exercise for dog is an activity that is one of the first thing a dog needs. In my opinion, dogs need 5 essential needs, which is exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection. So exercise is number one. You have to exercise your dog daily. There's no weekend, there's no day off for your dog. There always need to be exercise. Every day, somehow you have to be able to physically and mentally exercise your dog. But before you get started on exercising your dog, here are some tips that I want you to consider and understand how much is a good amount of exercise for your dog. So it all depends on your dog's age, size, breed. So for instance, a bulldog shouldn't be exercised as the same amount as a border collie should be exercising. A bulldog has a very flat muzzle. It has a hard time breathing. The legs are short. They can't really move much. Although a healthy and happy bulldog will run and play all the time, but it doesn't mean that they can go for a long time. So they need a shorter amount of exercise compared to poodle, which is Esther, who has longer legs and longer body, and she is actually bred to exercise and do physical activities easier. Now, there's a difference between over-exercising and under-exercising. Over-exercising a dog can cause physical health issues to develop, and stress can build up in your dog if your dog is over-exercised. Too little exercise, not enough exercise, can cause your dog to develop pent-up energy and also build stress because of lack of enough mental and physical stimulation. So to develop a healthy and balanced amount of exercise routine for your dog, I suggest you to be more realistic and find out what is the ideal amount of exercise that you can provide for your dog. Not because your dog is being bred for certain task and desire doesn't give you any clue of how much you should exercise your dog. I suggest you to go with what you can afford, what you can offer to your dog on regular basis every day. So if you can afford, let's say, half an hour a day, every day, stick with half an hour a day. If you can afford 1 hour a day, provide 1 hour of daily exercise for your dog. So the ideal amount is not less than half an hour and not more than an hour. Too much of exercise for your dog, which is more than an hour, can cause your dog to develop a behavioral issue that will make your dog to be not able to relax easily and often. So your dog may be always in the go-go state of mind if you exercise more than an hour. Dogs in general, although their ancestors were wolves, they are domesticated pet. Their body and their structure is different than wolves. They're not designed to hunt or migrate. Activity. 1 hour of exercise of playing with other dogs, walking, playing with you, playing with their toys, playing mental games, all these things can be exercise. Exercise doesn't have to be basically just going and walking. You can include many other activities in the exercise routine itself. You just want to make sure that your dog's heart rate it stays high or up for at least half an hour a day to provide some health benefits from the exercise as well. So tell me, how long do you exercise your dog? Are you exercising your dog 2 or 3 hours a day, or do you exercise your dog only on the weekends? If you have any questions, leave those questions and the comments in the comments below. So hopefully you got some pointers there, right? So remember, we want to keep our dogs healthy mentally, physically, emotionally. So we want to have them exercise properly, good amount, right? Not more than an hour of exercise that is just going to be go, go, go. And many dog owners, I see that they're very proud. They say, oh, my dog was exercise today for 3 hours. I take my dog every day for 2, 3 hours and goes running around, does this and that. They're very proud of that. But the problem with that is that if you over exercise your dog really doesn't enjoy it, doesn't have fun living like that. It's just too much, right? And unfortunately, they can't tell you that. They don't tell you that, hey, it's too much. Stop, slow it down. They can't say to you. Instead, what happens, some health issue develops, some injury happens, and they slow down. And then you say, what happened? What did we do? Yesterday, we didn't do anything. We were just playing and hanging around yesterday. All of a sudden, my dog is having this problem, this health issue, and all that, where all these health issues have developed many years ago. And throughout the years, it has got worse and worse to the point now the dog cannot tolerate it anymore. So health issues develops, pain develops. So you want to make sure that you're providing good amount of exercise. So one of the tips that I have is when it comes to exercising your dog is I want you to make sure that you are exercising your dog in the mindset that, and also the idea that I'm not just going to physically exercise my dog. I'm going to physically and emotionally and mentally stimulate and exercise my dog. So I have some tips that I want to share with you, especially when it comes to your puppies. These tips you can also use it as for an adult dog as well. So the first thing that you want to consider is walking your puppy first thing in the morning. So the first thing that you want to do is get up in the morning and take your puppy for a good half an hour walk, just to allow them to release that pent up energy, that charged up energy that they have charged it up during the night. You can let them release that energy, and that's the healthiest and most important part of the day. That's how you start the day. That would be ideal. So walking is an option that you can choose to exercise your puppy. Puppies, I usually suggest to walk them 2, 3 times a day, maybe 4 or 5 times a day, but but 15 minutes at each time. The next form of exercise is to allow your puppy to play with other dogs. As you can see here at the daycare puppies, some puppies, and they're playing with other dogs. You want to allow your puppy to have the opportunity to play with other dogs. This is a good mental and physical stimulation for your puppy, which also allows your puppy to practice instinctual habits of, for example, bite inhibition and how to bite other dogs. They learn also, they start practicing it with other dogs and puppies instead of your hands and arms. So you're getting double benefits out of it. The next thing that you want to do is play fetch with your dog. Playing fetch is a healthy and beneficial form of exercising your puppy. If you play it the way I teach it. Stay. If you teach your puppy to play fetch properly, it's a very beneficial game that you can play with your dog if you play it the way I teach it. The next thing is allowing your puppy to get involved with activities that you're doing. Whatever you're doing, whatever activity you're doing, you can let your puppy get involved. If you're doing gardening, you can let your puppy get involved with gardening. If you're doing office work, you can let your puppy get involved with your office work. If you're vacuuming your place, you can let your puppy get involved with this. I'm going to show you some examples in the following videos that you can have a good idea of what I mean by that. Annie? Nope. So now that you watch that, next tip that I have is basically training your puppy. You need to train your puppy every day for 15 minutes. If you train the way I train dogs and puppies, using play and praise reward system, that is more beneficial and it's more effective if you use my method of training your puppy instead of using treats or force or domination to train your puppy. And it's it. And down. And stay. And come. What do you think? Use play and praise reward system, you will get a lot more benefit, and also all of the tips that I shared will help your puppy to get stimulated both physically and mentally and emotionally. So you want to focus on those three things. So don't over-exercise your puppy, don't under-exercise your puppy either. Provide a safe environment for your puppy to play, and focus on stimulating your puppy's mind and brain rather than physical stimulation. That's the key. Now, if you want to join my online puppy training course, I have a special that I'm running for a limited time that you can take advantage. You can learn all about it in the description below as well. And until next time, have fun with your puppy. So hopefully you enjoyed those tips as well. Okay, so I'm going to get to your questions in a moment, but it's very important to exercise your puppy or your dog properly. If you do it properly, you will get amazing benefits from it. So always, again, remember to provide your dog's daily 5 essential needs, which is exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. And this week we talked about exercise. And in future live videos, we're going to dig in more of these 5 essential needs that you're going to need to learn. Next session, we're going to be talking about training, hopefully. And by the way, I will be going twice a week live on this channel for the month of May, just to help you out a little bit more one-on-one time and opportunity to learn and become an educated dog lover. So if you are not a member or you're not a subscriber yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting the red button, which is going to be around here. Just click that and you will be able to subscribe to the channel. And make sure also you are turning on the notification to all, so you will be notified as soon as I go live or post a new video. But on this month, on the month of May, I am just doing live sessions. So hopefully you enjoyed the presentation. Let's get into some questions and see what you guys are talking about. So let's start with Cynthia. Question: we have an 8-month-old beagle and he's chewing on everything in the backyard, deck edges and light and stuff like that. Yes, so that is very common. As I said, that is coming from lack of proper exercise. I'm not saying you're exercising too much or exercising too little. It's just proper amount of exercise. You just have to provide enough exercise for your puppy, that your puppy, it's not that I'm saying your puppy has to be exhausted. That's what most dog trainers will say. They say, exercise your dog to the point that they're exhausted, that they can't behave badly anymore. That is wrong tip. That is a wrong information that some trainers give. When you over-exercise a puppy or your dog, you will cause a lot of health issues and behavioral issues to develop. So we don't want to over-exercise our puppies or our dogs in order for them to behave properly. So one of the things that you have to do is basically give enough exercise for 15 minutes, play with your dog and take it for a walk, let your puppy to play with other puppies, let your puppy get involved with your activities for 15 minutes. That brings that energy level down, that they can go and rest. Then put your puppy in a confined environment, in a crate, in a confined area that you have created in your home, that your puppy can go and rest and relax, right? Give that opportunity to your puppy to relax as well. It's not all about go, 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 go. It's all about also going and relaxing at the same time. If you create that balance, you will have a dog or a puppy who's not going to be thinking about doing bad things or unwanted behaviors, because it's in a relaxed mode. When you over-exercise your puppy, or you don't give enough amount of exercise to your puppy says, you know what, this human is not providing what I needed, so I'm just going to be creative and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They start creating a to-do list and take care of that to-do list. But you need to be providing that environment and that situation for the puppy to learn, okay, this is what I'm going to do now, and then I'm going to rest. This is what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to rest. So you have to provide that balance, right? It's not about just allowing the puppy to do whatever it wants either, right? It's about controlling and managing. It's just like having a kid. You just don't allow the kid to do whatever it wants. You provide that environment and that situation that you're saying here. You go to school now. You study. You play. You go and practice basketball, judo, whatever it is. You create those routines and situations for your kids to be active physically and mentally, right? The same thing you do with the puppies, right? Hopefully that helps. So Cynthia, yeah, so you're saying 8-month-old Beagle is chewing on several things back here. Yeah. We have also Cynthia Ingram. She's one of the members of the channel. Thank you for being here, Cynthia, and thank you for being a member as well. Hopefully I answered your question. We have a next question from River Dreamwalker. Has to do with the breed to know you wouldn't exercise a Maltese like you would Great Dane. Yes. Breed is very important factor as well. Breed of the dog. Yes. You, as I said in the beginning, you don't exercise a bull, let's say a basset, the same way as you would exercise a poodle, right? But just because you have certain breed, it doesn't mean that you have to either do a lot of exercise or a little bit of exercise. So let me clarify this. If your dog, let's say you have a pit bull, or you have a German Shepherd, or you have a Maltese, right? Or you have, let's start with those high drive dogs, German Shepherd, or you have Border Collie. Is your dog considered a pet or working dog? There's a big difference between these two, right? As a dog owner, you have to be clear on choosing what your dog's role is. Is your dog going to be a pet, or you're going to use it as a working dog? So, for example, you can't, this is a common mistake that dog owners make. You can't have a working dog and a pet. It just doesn't work. It is not realistic. Many dog trainers will give you that. They will sell you that dream. They will sell you that hope that you will have a pet and a working dog, but it's not realistic. It just doesn't work. A dog cannot be both. It can't play both roles. It confuses them. It confuses the relationship that you have with your dog. The only time that you can have a pet and a dog that is working is if you are, for example, police officer and you have a German Shepherd who's been bred and designed and trained to be working with you 24/7 and live with you, and that dog is going home with that police officer and lives with that police officer as a family member, plus goes to work with the police officer every day. That will happen. If you are a police officer and you have a dog, please let me know if you are one, if that's the way you live and it's working for you. But if you are not, and you have a German Shepherd and you're working from home and you are accountant, for example, and you're working from home and you have a German Shepherd, you can't expect your German Shepherd to be protecting you and also be a pet, hanging around with you, sleeping in your bed with you, and just playing with you and all good stuff. And then when it comes to somebody be attacking you, or somebody getting into your house and you want your German Shepherd to protect it, it's not going to do a good job, because that dog hasn't been probably bred for, probably hasn't been trained for, probably hasn't been designed or meant to live as a protection dog, right? And he's going to get confused. He's going to either get excited when a stranger comes home, just like Goldens usually do. They get excited when the strangers come home, right? To your home, they celebrate. They don't care if you're a robber, you came home to do a robbery or as a guest. So they celebrate, right? So it causes a lot of confusion in the dog. It doesn't happen. And then just because you're saying, okay, I have a high drive dog, but my dog is a pet and I have to exercise it like crazy, just doesn't work either. Because if you have a German Shepherd as a pet, you should be also exercising it, not because you're considering it as a working breed, but because your dog is, is a pet. So as a pet, you exercise it minimum minimum half an hour twice a day, or maximum an hour and a half a day. That's it. You don't overdo it, because then you're confusing your dog and you're confusing the breed, right? The personality of that breed. Good question. S. George is in the house. She's one of my students. Thank you for being here. Hi, Saro. Would you recommend a walk of half an hour and then play and training, so about an hour? I would say it's better to give a 30 minutes of exercise, including play and training and walk all together. Just because what happens is, if you do more, let's say you do a half an hour walking and then you come home and you play another half an hour and train at the same time, that becomes an hour of stimulation. And if that repeats often, all the time, it will program and train your dog to do that all the time. And then what happens, in a week or two, they're going to need an hour and a half, right? And then, because you're developing you're creating this, and you're developing this training in your dog's mind and body, to the point that it becomes a trained dog to want a fit trained dog, that it will want more, right? If you have a fit dog, is going to ask you more and more and more. An hour becomes an hour and a half. An hour and a half becomes 2 hours. 2 hours becomes 2.5, and on and on. It keeps going. You have to balance it out in a way that it makes more sense to your lifestyle and your dog's lifestyle, right? If you think that, okay, half an hour wasn't enough, maybe I need to give 45 minutes to your dog, that's okay, that's cool, right? But maybe it doesn't apply to other dogs. Maybe your dog just needs 20 minutes and it's done, right? That depends on each individual as well. So I would suggest to stick with half an hour of exercise, play, and training at the time. And if you see that you need more, just provide a little bit more. But don't go overboard, because then you're training yourself and your dog to give more and more, and then it never ends. We have Gabriela. Hi, sir. Should the amount of food be increased if puppy or adult dog is more active? Should I feed the same amount? That's a very good question. So those dogs who are active, obviously they need to eat more, right? But doesn't mean that they need to eat more of the same food. You need to provide actually a better source of nutrients for your dog. So if you have an active dog and you have or you have a dog who's not very active, yes, their diet has to be adjusted as well. Very good question, actually. So yes, you have to provide not just more food, but you need to provide more quality and more nutrient food that works with the breed and the diet that you're providing for your dog. Let me see if I can find. Hold on. Just give me a moment. I will give you a good answer to this. Okay, so more active research has shown that active dogs, they need more taurine and vitamin E in their diet. So that's my answer. Vitamin E and taurine. So let me show you what I mean by that. Maybe I'm not pronouncing it properly. There we go. Taurine. is an amino acid that occurs naturally within the body. Amino acids are building blocks of proteins. The body uses protein to grow and repair tissues. Taurine occurs naturally in certain foods such as meat and fish. So if you're feeding your dog, you need to add a little bit of more meat and fish to the diet. And the other thing that I suggested to give is vitamin E. That's another thing that you need to add to the diet. So I just noticed now there was no sound for a while. I'm so sorry if that happens. I didn't know. Probably there was a technical problem. I'm using this new program, and this new program is maybe there was some technical problem in there. But let's move on. Tashar is saying, "Hi, Saro. I walk my 8-month-old Beagle for 30 minutes twice a day and play frisbee with him for 20 minutes until he gets bored." That's a good question, too. Let me just analyze this question. By the way, I'm having frappe. I love frappe. This video is not sponsored by frappe. So you walk your 8-month-old Beagle for 30 minutes twice a day and play frisbee with him for 20 minutes until he gets bored. Okay. Let me get a good video for you that you can actually, we're going to watch together. And this, I think, if you are giving that exercise of walking 30 minutes twice a day, pretty good. That's pretty normal. That's pretty healthy. That's pretty efficient, right? But also you're doing a 20 minutes of frisbee. But since you're doing that 20 minutes frisbee, what I want you to do, instead of just going back and forth for the frisbee, which is kind of boring game, as you say as well, and I understand that. It's very boring if you just do that game with your dog. You want to make it a little bit more, become a little bit more healthy. You want it to become a healthier form of exercise. I would suggest to, you call it frisbee, I call it fetch. If you could play fetch with your puppy or your dog, that would be even better. So let's watch what I mean by that. I'm Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you want to become an educated dog lover and have a healthy and happy, well-behaved dog, consider subscribing to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video. So in this video, I want to show you and teach you how you can play fetch game. This is Annie, my newly adopted puppy. I've just adopted her almost a month ago. I've taught her few commands. We're still working on those. But if you're going to play fetch game, you must have the 3 commands of sit, stay, and recall or come taught to your puppy before you play this game. This is very important for you to practice and invest time before you play this fetch game. I suggest you not to play the fetch game before your puppy knows this, and don't play this game until your puppy knows this, because if you play it the wrong way, you're going to be teaching the wrong things, and your puppy is going to be practicing the wrong things. So you want to do it properly. So I'm going to show you and demo it how you're going to play fetch game. So Annie, sit. So I'm going to ask Annie to sit. I'm going to ask Annie to stay. Annie, stay. Annie, go get it. Annie, come. Good girl. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Yes. Annie, nope. Nope. Good girl. Sit, stay. That's how you play a fetch game. Sit, stay, go get it, come, sit, and stay. That's the cycle that you have to repeat when you're playing fetch game. And if you're doing any of those improperly, you're doing it the wrong way. And if you don't do it properly, you're going to teach your puppy the wrong way of playing fetch game. So my puppy is in a sit and stay, and the game starts as soon as I throw the toy or the ball or whatever your puppy fancies. So stay and go get it. Give the cue of release to go get it. Give the cue of coming back. Let her play as much as you want, but make sure Annie comes. Annie comes back and brings the toy to you, and you play and interact with your puppy. So your puppy is going to bring the toy to you. If you don't interact, the puppy is not going to come back to you. That's one of the mistakes that dog owners and puppy owners make, is that they don't interact with the puppy. Interact at least 30 seconds or a minute before you say, Annie, no, good girl, stay, go here. Okay? So the reason she's going to bring it back because she wants to interact with you. Annie, come. Good girl, yes. Therefore she comes, therefore she listens to sit, therefore she listens to stay, therefore she comes. Okay? So that's the game that I want you, that's how I want you to play the game. Is it making sense? Right? Do you see the benefits of doing a session like that? Not only you're exercising your dog, physically, you're exercising your dog mentally, emotionally, you're bonding with your puppy or your dog, you're building that relationship with your dog. And on top of all that, you're training your dog. Your puppy or your dog is practicing or learning sit, stay, calm. All these things are happening in you and your dog and in your relationship. That's why it's very important to train your puppy properly. That's how I train my dogs, using play and praise reward system. So again, if you want to register to my online course to get all the goodies, all the benefits of how to train your dog properly without the use of treats, food, aversive tools, shock collars, prong collars, force, domination, or being alpha, and use play and praise reward system, make sure to register to one of my online courses, which most of them are on sale now on the website of sarodogtraining.com. The link is right there, and it's in the description. Take advantage. I've extended the sales until the end of this weekend, so Sunday at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the sales go away. So take advantage of it and get started to train your puppy or your dog right now. Where were we with the questions? I'm wondering if it's unhealthy for this 9-month-old be jumping to catch the frisbee in the air. He's good at it. So, Tushar, I just showed you how to properly play the game. If you play it that way, it's much healthier, it's much beneficial, and it will have a lot more benefits. Shalon George is saying, thank you, you're very welcome. Another question, Natalia is saying, how much sleep should my 10-week-old Beagle be getting? How much sleep a 10-week-old should be getting? 18 hours a day, preferably 18 hours a day. Yes. The more sleep you provide for your puppy or your dog, the better it is. Again, it's not about go to get your dog tired so it will sleep. It's the idea here is, let's relax. Throughout the day should be this. I hope I demonstrated that properly. It doesn't have to be this. right? That's not the way it should be. It should be, let's relax and maybe have some exercise and then relax and exercise a little bit and then relax. That's smoothness, right? So your puppy or your dog learns to be calm. That's what you want, right? If you want your dog to be calm, teach it to be calm. If you want your dog to be hyper and excited all the time, do a lot of exercises, do a lot of activities with your dog. That's what is going to teach it to be excited and exercise and be happy and jumpy. And if that's what you want, exercise your dog and don't let it sleep at all. If that's what you want. If you want your dog to constantly jump around and be active and jump on people and drive you crazy, exercise it as much as you can, 24/7. Don't let it sleep. But if you want your dog to be healthy, proper, well-behaved dog and calm and relaxed, teach it to be calm. Just provide enough exercise for it to be just healthy. As a human beings ourselves, we don't exercise all the time unless we are bodybuilders. We are just into business of working out. Yes. But if we are normal people, we dedicate certain times during the week and exercise, right? And throughout the days as well, we do activities that, stimulate us mentally and physically. So that's what I would suggest. 10 weeks old should be sleeping 18 hours a day. The more they sleep, the better it gets. The more they sleep, the healthier they get. They during the sleep, they recover, they repair, they reset. All those hours happens. So it's good thing to let them sleep. Perrine is saying, I have a super hyper 5 months old Beagle cross Harrier who is super hard to manage. He jumps up on people and on table to get food at dinner time. How do I stop these behaviors? I just explained throughout the whole show, right? I just explained what you should do. So just watch the live show once again. If you missed any part of it, go back and watch the entire live show because I just went through all the do's and don'ts. We just talked about it. The reason you have a puppy who's hyper because you're over exercising it or you're under exercising it. We'll talk about a little bit more about understanding also about under exercising a little bit. Nice. Okay, very good, George. All right, we have Mario. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Let me know if I'm doing it right or not. Mario. Hello, sir. I'm Mario from Portugal. Thank you for being here all the way from Portugal. I have friends and fans from all over the world, and it's good to have from Portugal. Obrigado. Thank you. I hope I'm saying it right. Obrigado or obrigada. Thank you very much for your videos. They are a great source of knowledge for new dog owners. Oh, that's great. Thank you. And you have a Beagle as well. 8-week-old Beagle. And I'm trying to move from starter to puppy. I started with 90-10% and have some diarrhea. Should I wait another couple of weeks before trying again? Thank you so much. Mario, I don't understand if you are going from 90-10. I don't know what they are. 90 is kibble, 10 is fresh food or something. Whatever you're feeding now, whatever you're feeding your puppy now, just go straight 100% to fresh food, raw diet or fresh food or home cooked. When you are going from whatever diet you've been feeding for your dog to, let's say, fresh food. So you've been feeding kibble. Yes, I see it. You've been feeding kibble and you're going to fresh food. Just go 100% fresh food because you're going from so-called dirty food clean food. And when you are introducing clean food, it doesn't matter, it doesn't really harm the body. It does actually benefit the body. When you are feeding, let's say, kibble, which is dirty food, when you're changing brands or you're changing formulas, going from one kibble to another, yes, there is a transition that the food companies suggest. But if you're going from kibble to another diet, let's say fresh food or cooked diet, home cooked diet, um, then you just go 100%, because what you want to do is you want to take advantage of that clean source of food that you're providing for your puppy to go and start cleaning up and providing all those nutrients and fixing the damages and getting rid of toxins. And once you do that, what happens is, yes, because you've been feeding kibble and then you start introducing fresh food, you're going to see a lot of diarrheas, a lot of things, bad thing happens for a few days. But don't panic, don't give up, because that's a good thing. That means the toxins are coming out. And also because your puppy's body was used to eating kibble, and then you're providing fresh food, the fresh food has to, adjust itself. So don't panic, don't feel bad, don't think it's end of the world. Just feed fresh food. Everything is going to be fine. We have Hunts. I just taught my dog how to sit and shake hands. He's 4 months old, by the way. Thanks, Saro. You are very welcome. I'm glad. I hope you have been using play and praise as a reward system rather than treats or food. We have Tushar is saying thank you. You are very welcome. We have Leela. My 5 months old Beagle puppy is not interested in eating. I'm giving him the breeder's recommended food. Look, I'll be honest with you. When you feed kibble to your dog, is not the most enticing, most desirable food for a dog. It just gives them just to eat something, to not be hungry and starving, and it gives that impression to you that your dog is eating, so therefore it should be okay and should be liking it, right? But they just eat it because that's all you're providing, right? If that's all you're providing for your dog, it's forced to eat that. I would suggest to change the food. There are foods and there are proper foods. One of the things that I want you to learn this term: species appropriate diet. Species appropriate diet. It's very important. Once you learn this, everything else makes sense, right? As a human being, we are capable of eating whatever we want. We can be vegetarian, we can be carnivores, we can be herbivores, we can be herbivores. We could be eating whatever we want, whatever diet here and there. It will be okay. We'll survive. But if we want to thrive, not to only survive, but to thrive, we have to eat species appropriate diet. So dogs are carnivores / omnivores. What that means is they eat 80% meat, 20% vegetables. Vegetables not in the form of that they eat, they go and have farm and pick fruits and vegetables and eat those. No, they eat the vegetables that are in their environment, and or the leftover of the vegetables that is in the stomach of the prey animals, right? Once you understand that, so the first thing when an animal kills another prey and eats, the first thing that they eat is the guts. The guts are the most nutrients part of the an animal, they eat the guts, which includes the stomach, and the stomach includes digested vegetables, of semi-digested vegetables that prey was eating, right? So they eat those two to help them to digest the rest of the food that they're going to eat, which is the actual meat of the animal. I know it's a bit gross, but that's, I think by explaining that way, you will have a good understanding of what your dog should be eating. Should be eating meat and vegetables, meat, a little bit of vegetables. So if you provide proper healthy food, natural, species appropriate diet, your dog is not going to argue about it, is going to eat it for sure. And if your dog is not eating, if your puppy, Beagle puppy, is not eating what you're providing it, it's clearly screaming and telling you, Mom, Dad, or whatever, Lila, I hate this food. I can't tolerate this food. I hate it. I don't want to eat it, but I'm starving. I'm just going to eat it. No, I'm not going to eat it. But if you put species appropriate food right in front of him, he is going to just devour it. That's what my dogs eat, and that's what my dogs do, right? Obrigado. Yes, it is obrigado. Okay. Ashley Brown is asking, what can I teach my almost 10 weeks old Beagle? That's a good question too. Let me answer that. A 10-week-old is just too young. It's just too young to start. It's too young to start training it or do anything with it. At the moment, what you want to do is provide an environment for your puppy to be raised. You know what I mean? To be raised. You're raising a puppy. You're not training it yet. It's a 10-week-old puppy. Probably your puppy got to you a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago. It's still a new member of your family, still confused, it's still stressed. You need to provide an environment and that opportunity to bond with your puppy and allow your puppy to start bonding with you and getting comfortable to be in that environment with you and relax and be in peace first, which is going to take a few weeks, maybe a few months, and then you can start working on training. When the mind is relaxed, then you can start educating and teaching it. At the moment, because it's too stressed, you can't teach it anything. Whatever you teach is going to be going in and coming out in the wrong way. What I mean by that is, imagine if you're stressed and you're trying to, you have a stressed person, and then I'm trying to teach that person something important. That person is too stressed and the mind is not ready to learn, right? You have to let that mind to relax and then start explaining. For example, I used to run classes and I had students, right? I don't know, 6 to 10 students at the time, right? And then some of the students were like there. They were not in the class. They were here, right? They were here, and they were not in the class. So I was saying this, explaining stuff, and they were just not there. They were not getting the information that they needed, right? And then at the middle of the class, I was saying, so remember what I said earlier? That's what we need to do. And they were saying, what was it? What was I supposed? I missed it. Just by being distracted, just by being stressed, that I had students who were too distracted with puppies and dogs, cute puppies running around. They were distracted. They were not paying attention. There were students who were just too stressed. Like, they couldn't relax. They were like that, right? In the classroom. So they were very stressed to be in the classroom. And so whatever I was saying was for them, that's all they were hearing, and they were not hearing me explaining what I was saying. Then later on, I was asking them, remember I told you to do this? What were you supposed to do? I don't remember. I forgot. Right. So that's what happens with the puppy when you have two young puppy, which is stressed and they overwhelmed in your home. When you teach something, goes out, goes in, goes out. So you want to wait until the puppy is about 4 months old or something like that, a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more in tune with you, right? And then start training it. But the best thing that you can do at the moment, since you have a 10-week-old Beagle, is to start learning what to do and what not to do about your puppy or your dog. Join my puppy training 101, for instance. This is the time that you need to start. Don't wait until later and then join the course. Start learning. Many dog owners, they do that. Many puppy owners, they do that. They see, okay, my puppy is doing okay, is good now, so I don't need to do anything now. So I'll wait later on. I'll go and do this, whatever I have to do later on. What happens is later on, when your puppies has started already developing bad behaviors because you didn't learn what to do since you had it, then your puppy is going to start to develop bad behaviors, and then you're going to regret. You're going to start looking for solutions to fix the problem, which is going to take you longer to fix that problem. So join now and learn what to do with your puppy, right? And especially now, again, it's on sale. The course is on sale. It's going to go back to normal rate end of this weekend, and you're going to regret. So in this course, in puppy training course, which is a video puppy training course, everything is there. You're learning exactly what you need to do before it's too late. Plus, you get a Zoom call with me, which is $150 value anytime you need a one-on-one session. So you get a lot of solutions here. You learn, for example, to teach no as a correction to your dog. So if your dog does something, you just say nope, and your puppy stops. It helps so much. It helps a lot when you do that. It helps you to become a powerful dog owner. So, okay, let me go quickly through some questions before I end the live session. Hi, Saro, would it be okay to give cookie table food meals to my Beagle? Of course not. You don't want to do that, right? If you want your Beagle to not, Beagles are foodie dogs. If you don't want them to be more foodie, you don't provide or introduce food or give food here and there. You limit the food intake twice a day at 9 and 5, for example. That's all the time that they need to focus on food, not 24/7. If you want your Beagle or your dog not to be foodie, don't involve food with your Beagle, right? And also, if you don't want your Beagle to be foodie, don't treat train them. Okay? All right. Very good. Okay, so I'm not going to get all the questions answered today. I've been following your videos since I got my Beagle at age 11 weeks and trying to raise him as you say, but he is not really following. Thanks. Yeah, the reason it's not happening is because you're not learning what to do. I can't give you a magic solution in a 1 minute, 2 minute answer. You need to learn the whole concept. And puppy training one-on-one online course, for example, is not going to overwhelm you, but it's going to give you enough information to solve problems and prevent problems to happen and start working on your puppy in a way that it will make more sense to you and your puppy, and then you're going to get great results. So that would be my solution. How to stop barking. Daxtro is asking how to stop barking. If you want to stop your dog's barking, there are many reasons why dogs bark. So what I would suggest you to do is, let me show you the full screen here. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to my YouTube channel. Okay. You see my YouTube channel, there are videos, my YouTube channel. You're going to go to the search button and you're going to type in barking, press, and voila. Videos are going to come, how to stop your dog's barking. I have few videos about barking, so please watch those videos. Those will give you some clear understanding of how to stop your dog's barking, because there are several reasons why that happens, and I don't have enough time at the moment to get into all the details. So that would be the most beneficial way. All right. And one of my students says, it does make sense. I'm a student. I'm very happy with the training I'm receiving. Join, guys. Thank you for promoting. Thank you for recommending, actually, S. George. Thank you for that. Yes. If you want to achieve success with your dog, join my online courses right now before it's too late. Gabriella is saying, my Beagle eats kibble in the morning and raw meat at lunch and dinner. I will switch to all raw. What is the right amount to feed? If he could, he would eat the whole box of meat from the freezer. So what are you gonna do? I have videos on my channel, but quick answer to this question is, let's say your dog is 20 pounds. You feed 200 grams of daily diet, daily food. If your dog is 40 pounds, 400 grams. You just have to figure out those formula, right? I don't know where you are and how you measure, but 20 pounds equals 200 grams. If your dog is 20 pounds, 200 grams of food. If your dog is 40 pounds, 400 grams of food. That would be the easiest formula. Ashley Brownie said, we have so many toys for Cleo, but she still continues to nip at us. I hope I have purchased the course. I have been religiously watching your videos. Yes, toys are not the only solutions. Remember that. Toys are not the only solution. It's the mental and physical stimulations that you're providing using toys that will help you to achieve success, right? If you watch the way I use the toy to exercise my puppy, as I showed in the few minutes before, you will have better success, right? Toys are not, objects are not the solution. Toys on their own have no meaning. The only time they become meaningful is when you interact with them. Make sense? All right. Okay. So this is the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed the live show and live training, and I will be back Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is May the 4th, be with you at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for another live session. For all other viewers who can't come at this time, hopefully they will join me at that time. And if you are able to join me, go ahead and join me. If you need to learn more about my course and my online courses that I provide, make sure to visit sarodogtraining.com. Most of my courses are on sale at the moment. Take advantage of that. And if you want to become an educated dog lover and a dog owner, make sure and have a great and happy, well-behaved dog, just like Annie and Harvey that I have. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well to get notified as soon as I post my next video. Hit the like button, please. And also join one of my online courses. I'll see you inside the course, and I'll see you next time. And until next time, have fun with your dog.